if we look at the 12 planets, which are aspects of divine influence, okay, we're more than our physical body. We're a spirit having a physical journey. We're a divine spark, a monad, seeking to shine out to be all that we can in the world. So if I'll just get my dolls, which are radically right here. So we know we are more than our physical body. We're more than our aura. We are more than our chakras. Yeah. More than our DNA. We're more than our soul. We're more than our spirit. We are a divine spark, a monad seeking to shine out to be all we can in the world. And we are a complex, multifaceted being. But the 12 planets form the matrix that our divine self interfaces through, okay, in order to become aware of its existence, presence, and power. So the 12 planets are a matrix that this part of us interfaces through in order to shine out through all the layers that I just looked at. So our divine self, our eternal spiritual essence, you might say, your monad, the divine spark in you, as distinct from your personality, as distinct from your soul, as distinct from your spirit. So the matrix of the 12 planets is the energetic framework necessary to enable the divine self or the monad to accomplish its descent into the temporal reality of the space-time continuum. And in other words, to be present, to shine that out into the world. So we can talk about zodiacal signs. We're not talking about zodiacal signs, for instance. We're only talking about the 12 planets. Okay? And now each planet has a frequency. Each planet has a frequency and a resonance. And we'll see, and a pattern is another way of putting it. Those of you that have done work with the courses in the First Light College of New Zealand Flower Essence Therapy will probably remember the diagrams that Tony painstakingly created in flowers, for instance, showing that nature follows a pattern, and that pattern is held in the planets. So each of the 12 planets has a frequency of resonance that we can resonate with. This part of us can resonate with and come into alignment, attunement at one with. So we, each and every one of us, are very powerful beings that are capable of co-creating with the universe. We are capable of powerful, intelligent, cooperative, co-creative endeavors to be the magician of our own life. We have a consciousness. Everything has a consciousness, a spirit that can be related to. So we have that innately within us, in our monad, the ability to work cooperatively with everything that has a consciousness. Now, the 12 planets are our, you might say, celestial tools. In the sense, celestial tools are aspects of our psyche. They're not just out there, they're also within us. So the 12 planets are powerful forces in the universe that we can work with powerfully, intelligently, and cooperatively, mediating between the powers of heaven and earth. And this reality is hinted at in the diagram illustrating the celestial tools of the goddess Isis Urania. It's in, I'll have the image up from Eighth Ray Magic book, page 10. So those of you who are familiar with the book, Eighth Ray Magic, which Tony and I wrote, because that information was timed to be released, and we'll see that there. We can see the goddess, the feminine, the creative part of us. It's not gender specific, it's this part, the monadic aspect of us is co-creative. Okay, it's in relationship with everything that exists. The very first thing our divine self is in relationship with is the planets. There they are. From that, of course, goes the more, okay, we get zodiacal signs, we get houses, but those are kind of a different level of relating. Very first and foremost, the tools are the planets. And we can see from that image, if you look at her stomach, we can see it's sort of almost like a pregnancy, a rotund look there. So that's the creative, to be able to give birth, to create anything. We can see here the necklace around her neck, which is that mantle of responsibility that we have. We have been given allies. And we carry that responsibility. I say it's a weighty responsibility. If we go through life and not availing ourselves of that, we haven't really lived. You can see the bracelets on the arms, understanding this is co-creative. It's the forces of the yang, the forces of yin. So it's a dance. Okay, it's a dance. The open hand, it's an invitation. Before we look at a planetary spirit power animal, because they're quite different, what are power animals generally? So power animals are ancient allies on the shamanic path. And in many ancient shamanic traditions of many cultures, animals have always been revered as sacred messengers, guides, protectors. Each animal carries a unique medicine, a spiritual power or a healing gift that can assist us on our journey through life. And this medicine may be the power of vision or courage or strength or any number of medicines that the animal carries. And traditionally, shamans call upon power animals for healing, transformation, guidance, assistance. So why do shaman work with power animals? Well, the shaman's work bridges the worlds, physical and spiritual, seen and unseen. And in this type of shamanic work, power animals serve as protectors of the soul. You know, they shield the shaman in the spirit realm and during shamanic journeys. They're guides in the unseen. They help navigate unfamiliar territory in non-ordinary reality. They're messages of wisdom. They deliver insight, truth, teaching from the spiritual realms. They're carriers of specific medicine. And each animal brings its own energetic gift. Now, power animals can also be associated with rites of passage in regard to our untransmuted animal lower nature. Okay, so it's not all just fun and wonderful, you know, shamanic gifts flowing from power animals. They have their own rite of passage. And in regard to our untransmuted animal lower nature. And so particularly when we're talking about planetary spirit power animals, planetary spirit power animals are an invitation to uphold the higher qualities and attributes of that planet in the context of that they are the planetary spirit power animal is an interface. Okay. So let's just go now into planetary spirit power animals. So they're all of the above, but there's a whole hidden mystery on planetary spirit power animals. While many people have heard or are familiar to some extent with the concept of traditional shamanic power animals, not a lot of occult information is known about the real purpose and significance and power of working with with power animals. And as some of you know, when we're looking at power animals, we cover that in depth in the Esoteric Hypnosis Training Academy, Level 1 Shamanic Soul Healing. So we're training students on the sacred art of connecting the soul with its power animals. However, the information that I'm sharing with you today exclusively from the House of the Bee enables you to understand the power of planetary spirit power animals. So understanding the power of planetary spirit power animals is another very powerful level of teaching, and these teachings are exclusive to the House of the Bee Mystery School, where this information and knowledge has been held secret for thousands of years. And as I said, today is the first time it will be publicly revealed.